Harrywind before the fight, right? You have this one linear target who's trying to make for these pulls. If you can get a good like Sunder off, if you can just focus out this Ares, he doesn't get the same amount of value. It's a pick-based composition. They've got Serqet, they've got Horus, they've got a lot of CC. So Snowball much more in favor of the Jade Dragons. I mean, they kind of have to go for it. If they're going all the way to late game and try and deal with the Ares, the Daji combo, it's going to be difficult. The team fight is scary. But if LASBRA is going to be able to get active on this Serqet, he can open up some doors for the team. So I'm not calling GG just yet. I think there is some outplay that Jade Dragons can employ.
The Jade Dragons, Mike trying to get aggressive on Hurry. Misses the stun. Will still pelt a couple of autos right back at Hurry. Wave clear goes in favor of the Jade Dragons this time. Baron Hurrywin forced to sit under the tier 1 tower to clear out a couple of these minions, but won't lose any of them to the actual tower itself. It just feels, Charlie, like we're back to classic Mike style of play.
Yep.
It's been a while since we've seen some of the invades go through, but Mike's going to start him back up here in year 10. Scream going to get taunted by the LASBRA. A lot of damage from the Deathbane. Dash in from Ven just to prevent LASBRA from going further. A lot of shots fired through in the mid lane.
A lot of damage. That's what we'd expect from a Serqet early on. But Scream goes for the blink. Remember, LASBRA has to figure the CC immunity. He's got a beads of his own. It looks like looking for LASBRA could be the call. Good CC there from Dardez, and that's what Morgan Le Fay brings. So much self-peel, so much group peel. The CC, the lockdown, all of which is annoying to deal with. That's going to be no first bloods happening in the mid lane for the time being. But because Ares got some good clear, and it looks like Mike has to respect the fact that Hurrywin's got that damage. They will have the clear advantage going into that shield buff, which is usually where the team starts scrapping if a jungler makes the rotation in. But LASBRA's actually going back to base. He's not going to make that rotation. He's heading home, which means Scream's going to have some pressure. He's going to be able to grab those rights.
Blink chain. Second one goes through the knockup. Stops the third one from going fully. And PBM may be saved by the good graces of Vote with that knockup, because otherwise, fire immediately after from Hurrywin could have kept that chase going for him and Barracuda. I think you're right to highlight the fact that junglers aren't over here. This is normally the time of the game when either LASBRA or Scream are trying to get active in one of these side lanes. Seems that their priority was more towards the right end, going for that cooldown buff. Scream benefiting from that one at the very least, but no eyes, at least on the jungler on the left side of the map. And with that high clear you were highlighting from Hurrywin, he and Barracuda can go ahead and take shield buff just to themselves.
And it looks like Scream wants to go for a blue buff invade. LASBRA's on the way. Haddix is here too. They want to go for a fight if possible, but it's not easy to go for this invade. Remember, the buff can be pulled far away. No mid laners are coming through. It's a true 2v2.
Scream trying to force LASBRA out. Quick teleport by Scream to get him back out of danger, so blue buff invade won't go in favor of the Ravens. Hurrywin still trying to keep up some pressure against the Jade Dragons. Able to pull one of the small purple buff minions away from them. So it gets at least a little bit of XP denial, but not the full buff that maybe Hurrywin was hoping for. Instead, he'll go back with Barracuda and help clear out their own buff. So to start this one out, Highland Ravens attempts at being aggressive, both in the left lane and in the mid. But so far, Charlie has not netted either team a kill just yet.
I am a bit disappointed in Hurrywin there, though. He had the opportunity to steal away Chester, and he decided not to. And I think you get the gold just for opening it. He didn't even have to bring him the whole way gone. He could have just opened the chest, walked him over, and denied 25 gold at the very least. And then he could have stolen it, got the movement speed. It also acts as a ward. Hurrywin was a little bit too tunnel vision there. Could have got some extra value. But remember, PBM, no beats, doesn't have access to the skies. Hurrywin's got an ultimate. That means PBM doesn't want to step up. He does not want to get pulled back in with no escape. So he's going to have to stay pretty far under tower to make sure that doesn't happen. Beads up in 13 seconds, though. Will Hurrywin go for the play? No. His beads and that blink are on relatively the same timer. So Hurry's not going to be able to blink in and make any sort of aggressive play. Just going to step forward towards the shield buff and give it over to Barracuda once again.
Yeah, Barracuda really benefiting from all the extra neutral farm on the map. And the wave to wave still going even. Hurrywin will pull ult from Vote.
Oh, here comes Scream.
Beads from Mike. Barracuda here. Now with no beads from Mike, this is an easy pickings for the Highland Ravens. So long as those chains connect, and they do so, pulls from Mike right back in, and it's Scream who gets first blood for the Ravens.
I mean, that's 3 ults for 1 kill, but what's happening in the meantime? Is LASBRA making active plays over on right? It looks like that is the call. He's going to try. Haddix is looking pretty tanky, though. I don't think it's going to be easy to find this kill unless he steps up, unless he driving strikes aggressively. Now he could die.
LASBRA goes in. Taunt. Not quite there. Ultimate from Nika to slow him down. There's an ult from LASBRA. Haddix waiting for that driving strike. 2 seconds left. Will push away. Still holding on to ult, but he's slowed down. Throws the boulder just to clear the wave because he knows he's not making it out of this one. And LASBRA returns fire with a kill of his own.
It seems like once again, Haddix almost knew it was coming. He looked over. He's like, oh, I'm not going to step up. Then you see LASBRA go, oh, okay. He knows it's coming. I'm not going to go for the gank. And then immediately, he walks right forward and uses the driving strike. And that's going to be the freest gank you can get if you're LASBRA. At the very least, Nika gets poked out. So blue buff invaded there from Scream. He was able to claim his first blood on this Daji. You're just looking at beads now. You know that Vote used his. They're down for 100 seconds. PBM also used the beads. So duo lane is a great target for Scream to try and hover around. Leave Haddix alone on an island. Hopefully he doesn't get ganked. Hopefully he's able to survive, play safe. And just keep putting this pressure into Barracuda, into the duo lane. That's where your best option is at the moment for a Daji. So far, it's been able to work here for the Highland Ravens, whereas LASBRA, he may just be delegated over to right lane. This shield buff that we highlighted that usually the junglers are looking at, LASBRA hasn't even been on the left side of the map. He's been all right for the moment now.
Both junglers sticking to opposite sides of the map. A little bit of aggression we saw between them in the mid lane with their mids. But outside of that, it's been focus on 2 different fronts for these junglers facing off. Remember, an important game 3 for both these teams. Scream now going to make himself known on the right, but a quick torrent away by Nika will make sure that that teleport does not go the way of Scream. Said he'll go ahead and steal a Chester away.
There you go.
Take some gold, give himself a little bit of movement speed to start zooming through this jungle. Not sure if he spotted LASBRA, but I know LASBRA at least spotted Scream out there. And now with Vote in danger, Chain just off the mark by Hurrywin. Vote should be fine. The Ravens keep up their aggression.
Yeah, still has that airstrike if the ultimate comes through. No beads for 20 seconds, but you're not too worried. You're just going to be getting airstrike down here aggressively. What can Barry do in the meantime, though? Does he find the cripple? Not quite. Wild Hunt connects. The chains, though.
Chain is there. Fire as well. Not enough. Hurrywin stunned under the tower. The knockup's not there by Mike to keep him locked in. One more shot, though, from Vote will do it. Hurrywin steps too far forward into enemy lines and will pay the price because of it. 2 kills now for the Jade Dragons.
Yeah, that's a big stop. Hurry steps up too far. Beautiful CC chain there from Mike. And you give the kill over to Vote. I thought Barra might have been able to body block, but it was the enhanced auto attacks, and they do have an AoE effect, so even with the body blocks wouldn't have been enough. LASBRA finally gets a kill over and left his team, that is, and he decides he can step up for the shield buff. So he's going to send some pressure over. Barracuda's got beads, so no gank opportunity, but finally finds that gank over on the left side of the map. And Vote's beads are back up, so Scream doesn't even have that same opening. He can't go in for the gank on a Jingwei. Vote's just going to be able to stay pretty far back over in this duo lane. Maybe you get a chance at fighting in the jungle. Hurrywin finds some chains, and it looks like that is the call for Scream.
But a double taunt by LASBRA, ultimate by Mike. We'll transport LASBRA right out. And one of the first times that we've seen Mike use his ultimate this game. Gotta note, though, Charlie, I mean, with Hurrywin's active movement over on the left side of the map, never pulled a set of beads. At least with that last ultimate, both Mike and Vote, or at least Vote using his ultimate, Mike being pulled back in. So no real threat on the beads just yet. So feels like Scream and Hurrywin going to take a while before they can really benefit from one another being able to burn those relics.
Yeah, you need to be a little bit tankier, Hurrywin that is, to be the first one blinking into these fights. Because I already mentioned the single target damage. LASBRA can just sit back, wait, and then lock down Hurrywin after the pull. You got yourself an easy pick if there's not the big burst damage following up that play. I think Hurrywin's got to be careful. This man steps up real far, gets CC chain underneath that tower again. Could be some trouble, and he's not going to walk under again this time around. So at least giving some respect over to PBM, who was able to lock him down and confirm that kill for Vote. I haven't seen the mid laners get active at all, right? It was a little bit of level 3 scrapping, but Dardes and Ven,
they're chilling.
They're just farming. I think Ven's trying to make some rotations over. He walked over to shield buff, got about halfway there, and decided to head on back to lane. But these mid laners have been working on, I suppose, the Bastion. That's about it. That's all the aggression we've been able to see from Morgan Le Fay and Agni. But Dardas and Ven do have good damage. They've got their Deso online, both going into what looks like Rod of Tahuti. They start swinging just before everyone else because they've got the most XP in the game at the moment. Level 12 for Ven, and Dardas, I assume, is following soon after.
Yeah, level 11 for the Morgan Le Fay. Well, the mid laner's going to go ahead and start clearing out. Veneno having to do so from range with one of his bombs from ultimate. We'll be able to clear that one out. Darda's still not ticked over to 12 even with that wave. So definitely falling behind to Ven. The Highland Ravens in general, though, Trelly, have been able to get a little bit better farm than the Jade Dragons, about 1,500 up. Compared to the Dragons, we've seen a lot of the shield buffs go their way. We've seen a couple of invades towards over blue buff. Maybe just leaving Veneno by himself here in mid as long as possible is the game plan of the Ravens. Let this Agni get online. Because we've seen from some of our SPL mid laners just how much damage this Agni can do once you get that full build online. And it's the Gold Fury by the Ravens.
Gone.
Veneno will drop a couple of bombs, but the Jade Dragons standing around watching nothing happen as the Ravens pick up a Fury.
And that's the benefit of this Cernos. You have so much damage. Bear goes right into the Executioner, recognizes that, hey, we've got burn. I've got my AoE glaive auto attacks. We can go for a pull. And it's going to work out so far. Scream and LASBRA are scrapping over the shield buff, but it looks like even more damage happening towards PVM in mid. Everyone, I've been liking his play. He is not sitting back. He is not playing the defensive Ares game. He is constantly at the tower lines looking for chains, looking for pulling beads whenever possible. And if you're not playing Ares like this, I think you wasted a pick, right? You want to be getting these chains online. You are one of the strongest characters on the map when you have these chains like pre-level 12 before second relics come through. And everyone's not sleeping on it. He's trying to get as much activity as he can. Throughout the entirety of this left side of the map. Haven't seen him go over towards Nika, of course, but rarely we see supports get active on that side of the map before a Pyromancer spawns in. But considering that, LASBRA had to go into the Magi's very early. Remember, in game number 1, it was the Glad Shield in this slot. He said, I need even more CC immunity. I need the beads, I need my ultimate, and I need a Magi's. But the Highland Ravens, they need to go for the Pyromancer.
The Ravens will get Pyro as Hurrywin continues to zone Dardes. And the rest of the Dragons out, stunned by PBM on Hurrywin, but Hurrywin will be just fine. Pops that bolster defense, gives him a lot of protections to stand back and keep the Jade Dragons at bay. So for the Highland Ravens, Charlie, I mean, they able to sit back, passively farm up, get a lot of neutral XP, a lot of neutral gold on the map from Gold Fury, from Pyromancer, these shield buffs. This is exactly where the Ravens want to be, taking a composition that the Dragons have to late game with what the Ravens have drafted. Is this exactly where they want to be? Is this slow-paced early, wait for late game style?
Yeah, I mean, the Highland Ravens have no problem. Like I said, their team fight is really where they are going to flourish. And so far, getting the better end of these trades is going to be a good look. Dardes has the ultimate, but PBM is also going to go into the ult to try and save his mid laner. It looks like LASBRA goes to the back line, though, with help from Nika.
Mike's going to crash in a little bit behind. Veneno caught out by himself. And surrounded by 3, but now Fotis made the rotation. Scream able to get the blink out. Hurrywin with a couple of chains. And all 5 of the Jade Dragons now standing by. No objective to do. Fury still down for a minute and a half. Pyro an extra minute beyond there. The Jade Dragons are able to find a pick on the mid laner.
They do. And look at the relics on the side of the Highland Ravens. Everything but Barras was used. I mean, that means the Jade Dragons will have the aggressive playstyle for the time being. You're down Ven for quite some time as well. That's a clutch rotation in. As you said, there's nothing to fight over here. The Oni Fury won't be up for another minute or so. But Nika makes the rotation over. Haddix comes through as well. Too little, too late. That's an easy pick. And that's going to be all the aggression we see from the Jade Dragons for the time being. But they know. Time to group up in the Oni Fury. I think they realized how quickly the Ravens have. They've got the DPS to just burn through it if they don't have vision down or if they're not ready to rotate. Nika's teleport will be up in 30 seconds, so he will be able to join the fight, but Haddix is going to have to book it on foot all the way over. So probably just clear 1 to 2 waves back, and then head right towards this Oni Fury just to make sure that your solo laner is there. Because presence, relic-wise, in favor of the Jade Dragons for this pull.
Shield buff. Back and forth banter with the Hunters. Trying to secure that one through. Hurrywin steps up, shield buff to the Jade Dragons this time around. The Jade Dragons need every little bit they can get to bring themselves out of the small hole that they've been dug so far. by the Highland Ravens. Finding that pick has certainly slowed down the Ravens' momentum, but Venenu maybe privy to exactly the style of aggression that the Jade Dragons have. Takes the long path around to the Cyclops camp instead of cutting through at the top end. But Oni Fury is back. Jade Dragons have vision inside the pit this time thanks to the Oracle Harpies. So we shouldn't see another free objective go that way, but
He never left.
Tower be damned, the Jade Dragons will just walk right in, take down Venenu, and well, now it's the Dragons who can easily go for a Fury.
Yep, and that's why that first aggressive play makes so much sense. Ven's relics are still down for 30 seconds. They're able to sit there. LASBRA said, hey, I'm not going to move from this spot until we get an Agni. They fished and they caught him. Ven goes in, no relics for 20 more seconds. He falls down, and the Jade Dragons have the aggressive positioning towards this Oni Fury. They're not going to pull it yet, though. LASBRA was in mid trying to go for that tower, and it looks like they're not going to pull it at all. Ven's going to be up in 3 seconds with relics. It seems like a bit of a missed opportunity there as Barracuda gets aggressive. What are the Jade Dragons going to do with this lead? So far, nothing. I mean, it's back to being in favor of the Ravens because Ven's here. All of their relics are available. The one-man advantage you had is gone. Unless you can do something here with Addicts, which doesn't seem likely because Ven and Scream have made the rotation. Oni Fury going to be pulled here by the Ravens, Shun.
A lot of damage taken by Scream, but Oni Fury now started up by the Ravens. Barracuda took the tier 1. Of course, long rotation in from Vote. The Dragons now collapsing in. Nika still by. Haddock's caught out by PBM. Hurry win there for the bailout. Finds one chain, misses the second one. And we'll have to deal with the Morgan Le Fay clone left by Dardes. Let damage through. Hurry win half HP. Unlikely that he'll want to jump in and be the one to start up this next fight, but the Oni Fury still under the watchful eye of the Ravens.
And all the while, LASBRA is not showing himself on the map, clearing everything over on the right side of the map. Finally says, hey, I'm over in red. I'm clearing your wave. And what do the Highland Ravens do? Do they immediately pull Oni Fury? No. They go back to farming. So LASBRA just very successful in finding farm in the midst of that fight, and he knew the Ravens aren't going to pull. They're not going to go for the siege. Even if they don't know where I am, they probably think I'm behind them. So I'm just going to take away their back camps, their blue buff, steal away as much farm as possible. You guys just let me know if the pull happens, and so far it hasn't. Scream stepping forward to PBM. No. They got a lot of damage.
Mike used his dash, goes for the ultimate. The damage is just enough, though. Barracuda takes him out. Scream pulls an ultimate away from Nika with his own powwow, and now that sets up for the Oni Fury. The Highland Ravens, who had lost a player earlier and were at a deficit trying to fight to the Fury, will now be able to pick that up for themselves. Oni Fury for the Highland Ravens. The Dragons try to answer with a Pyromancer or maybe a pick on a Haddox if they can. Taunt is good. Ultimate on top, but Haddox will pop the beads, walk immediately away. He's got the teleport to come back to this fight if need be. And that will be exactly what he does. Right back to base for Haddox.
Haddox is going to be able to teleport in. Hurrywin blinked on a Vote and got the airstrike down, so Jingwei's not going to be able to make her presence known. But LASBRA has a wraparound. The Jade Dragons steal the Pyro Wave. Here comes LASBRA. LASBRA
finds taunt onto just Hurrywin, but a chain connects on to LASBRA. He can't jump away. Ult from Dardes, but Haddox is back from the fight. Throws the boulder out. Gets a lot of damage to some of these backliners, but Haddox is now low. Not enough healing and sustain to stay alive. Pyromancer +1 to the Jade Dragons.
Yeah, the steal was unfortunate, but the fight after, that was always going to be the play there. LASBRA said, hey, you guys going for as much damage as you can. I'm going for the wraparound. Ends up working out. Vote makes it back, and it looks like Tier 1 Tower is the call, as well as both Bastions, because Haddox isn't here to defend. Barracuda is actually on his way, trying to keep this tower alive, but Vote's got good enough damage that it should drop down for free, and that's going to be the end of the siege. Highland Ravens still ahead gold-wise, but the XP is also looking relatively good here for the Jade Dragons. 4K in their favor. I mean, that's just been walking up, stealing these objectives. Vote somehow 2-0. I think he's been relatively passive so far this game, but wants to get active whenever possible. And Hurrywin and Barra? I was going to say, there's no way they start autoing this, but they will.
You say that. The Highland Ravens do start at the fire, forces the Jade Dragons to respond, and respond the Dragons will do. Fire Giant now leash. LASBRA nowhere in sight once again. Just kind of roaming through the jungle, grabbing whatever camps are available. He stole the Cyclops camp on the backside. Maybe even stole the speed buff as well. Grab the Harpy, wait for his opportunity. Who's going to be the one that sneaks up? Venenu by himself. He is playing around this pillar greatly. Screen teleports away. That leaves Venenu alone. Quick beads out by the Agni. But now LASBRA can't keep the fight going. And Scream grabs Dardes with the help of the rest of the team. There's 4 of the Highland Ravens over here on this left side of the map. And the Jade Dragons, they got nothing to respond back with.
I mean, LASBRA is always in the perfect position to make plays. Dardes is just too far up, and Nika, all the while, was trying to set up there.
Where's he going?
He was trying to set up there with LASBRA. He's like, oh, we're going on Ven. I got you. I'm behind. Doesn't work out, and now he's still behind Ven. Poor guy. Might be running into some CC, but he gets caught out, and now Nika's in some trouble. If he would be, if he doesn't have the CC, and it looks like Hurrywin plus some help from Haddox is going to dish out the CC.
Couple of chains and an ultimate. This time from Nika. PBM goes in for the heal, but Hurrywin goes with an ultimate of his own, pulls Nika right back in, and he'll fall down. Venenu taunted, has to use the Aegis. The damage from Airstrike is good, but not good enough to take him out. PBM does get the dash after he drops back from the sky. Venenu traded out a 1-for-1, but it's about to be 2. Mike finds a target to dash to, but now it's LASBRA in the middle of 4. Can he even get out of this one? Barracuda dashes back, and LASBRA may have just enough. A very slippery Serqet to run through, but Haddox is zooming on this. Hercules finds the pickup. The chain there, quick beats from LASBRA is enough to get him out as he's got it just to get away from the tail end.
Yeah, the only person with Blink was Scream, and he got so low. LASBRA picked a good target to try and use his damage on. Sends Scream back to base and is able to get out scot-free. I guess you use your beads in the process, so LASBRA did lose that CC immunity. But the Highland Ravens are going to have Ven spawning back in. And it looks like Gold Fury's on the left side of the map. No one's going for it, right? It's uncontested at the moment because Fire Giant is such a threat. There is so much crit damage. There is so much objective burn from both these teams. We're 21 minutes in, and it's a threat. But it looks like Barracuda takes some good damage, and Hurrywin tried to step up to help him and ends up walking into the CC of PBM. This area has to be careful positioning-wise. Has no relics for another 50 seconds. That value of being able to blink in and pull someone is going to be gone. LASBRA has beads down for another 2 minutes, but that Magi's comes up in 13 seconds. So unless that can be pulled by Venenu, who has the easiest time doing so, is going to be fearing this Ares as the Pyromancer goes down for the Jade Dragons for free. And Nika and PBM are going to have some runic bombs to their name, 2 in tow for the Jade Dragons.
Now the Dragons have been able to close up that lead that the Ravens established early on in the game. Scream on the Pow immediately goes to Dardes, who will use the ultimate to get out of that one. And now it's Mike to the sky, will crash down and join LASBRA, who gets the pickup onto Scream. Boulder hits LASBRA to 1-for-1 trade out. Both junglers now out of the fight. Nika trying to find his path back out. Haddox misses the knock-up, and that's enough for Nika to be able to torrent away, dash out back to safety. 1-for-1 at the end of the day, but Mike is fishing for more.
Mike is fishing for more. He's behind. Vote's also there, but the Gold Fury seems to be their target. Unless the Highland Ravens immediately go for Fire Giant, this is a great call. Barracuda's still in base, so they aren't going to go for the immediate pull. It seems like enough time, especially with the movement that Vote can go for if he goes back to base and flies through. But Fire Giant is the call. The Highland Ravens are here. They hear that Fury go down, and they are immediately going to start the pull. Haddox is playing zone duty. Who's going to get here first? Nika's going to step forward.
Barra's doing a lot of damage to Fire. Half HP on the objective. Vote has landed back from his passive. Mike and Nika and Dardes have got to do some damage to try and steal this one away. Ultimate from Nika. The Dragons steal away the Fire Giant. A pull-in by Hurrywin, but Haddox is the one now on the run. Damage from Dardes hits through to Barracuda, who stands his ground for only a moment later until he's forced back out of the fight. The Ravens go for a risky fire, and they lose it to the Dragons.
Yeah, the Ravens were going for a bait, though. They dropped it. It was the Jade Dragons who picked up that fire and said, hey, we'll 50-50. We're down to play. Once Nika goes into the storm call, big silence. I think Ven dropped 2 bombs in the flame wave and just had to hope that he could go for that confirmation. But that was the Jade Dragon saying, yeah, we're down to 50-50. You guys are going to do 90% of the work. Sure, we'll pick it up, and let's see what happens. That coin ends up landing in their favor. And now the Dragons, with their gold lead, with Fire on 5, are able to push up and start taking down the last of the Tier 1s, only one more over on left, and the Tier 2s. I think Barracuda has been quite the threat here. This Cernos has been dishing out a lot of damage, and he's been frontlining more often than not towards these jungle fights. Everyone else is retreating, and Barra's standing his ground. He's going to grab the Tier 1 over on right and head back to base. I think the defense is still strong. He's actually not heading back to base. Nika wants to make the rotation over. If Bear gets caught out, that'd be bad for the team, and it looks like he's going to recognize someone could be coming in full-on retreat here. But still, the siege potential for the Jade Dragons is difficult. They don't have that double hunter composition they had in game number 2. It's pretty much just Nika and LASBRA going to blink to the back line and try and create space. All the while, Mike is going to CC for his team. Tier 1 goes down. We'll have to see if they decide to push in for Tier 2. They only have 1:16 left. Not too much time to try and siege here.
No, not long for the Jade Dragons. Being able to knock down a couple of towers at least. Try and get some value from the gold. 8k XP meaning a little bit less. Barracuda never got back to base. Has the beads up against LASBRA, and that should be a dead Cernos. Aegis used, but not going to be good enough. Nika and LASBRA team up to take down Barracuda. Now it's 50 seconds without the hunter of the Highland Ravens. This should be the call for the Dragons. Start knocking down more towers.
Yep, Tier 2 overrun left. Barra gets caught out. He had plenty of damage. He almost returned the kill, but because Nika was there, helped out. LASBRA gets the kill. Is able to continue fighting. And actually, Scream was waiting for this play. He's got damage, but look at the crits. Oh my goodness, Scream wins that, but it was closer than it should have been.
Way too close between Scream and Laz. Now, Hurrywin finds 2 chains up against his opposition, but Venenu is the one who's really in danger. It's a collapsing in by the Dragons to find pick after pick on the backliners of the Ravens. The Dragons, only a few seconds left on fire, will not stick around for the continued siege attempt. They found their picks, and they will march their way back to their own respective base. Spend up some of the gold in pocket as well. A 5,000 gold lead for the Dragons to start this one out. I say that, we're 26 minutes through. And Charlie, the name of the game for these two teams has been around these sieges. With the lead the Dragons have, how's the composition like this one siege into the Highland Ravens?
Well, like I said, they've got the blink potential, but I still think their comp succeeds in single target picks. That's what, the analysis has not changed. LASBRA still is going to blink in, try and get some CC. If not, you want to stay back. PBM is going to mirror that process. You go for one pick. Once you do, you got a 5v4. You continue that same play. It does get more difficult, though, with the Phoenix involved. Once you have to try and dive, a Horus play may be your best option. PBM takes a wave of minions, says, hey, we're going left, we're going right, we're going mid. You have to guess. If you get there in time, could be trouble. Speaking of picks, Haddock's taking a lot of damage. This time, though, no anti-heal. So mitigate wounds is going to be just fine in keeping him sustained up. If LASBRA did ult him there, that could have been trouble.
Haddox lives, and Vote will solo out the Fury on the left side. So the Ravens know that at least one person was not there for that fight. But not much they can do at the moment. Maybe get some vision established as Hurrywin walks up and drops a ward over the top right side of the Fire Giant pit. So Highland Ravens still with plenty of time for a defense. Fire Giant being back up means that our next fighting area has been simplified for us. It's, can you find a pick? And then immediately start at the Fire Giant. The Jade Dragons unable to get vision up to the backside near the Highland Ravens at the least. So unaware of where all the Ravens are fully standing through. Haddock spots out LASBRA, but not much that Haddock can do against the slippery Serqet.
Yep, gotta let her go. LASBRA's going to constantly be on the left side of the map, take that shield buff, take the chest, look for ganks whenever possible. Remember, this is what happened in game number 1, where he had that wraparound play. He one-shot Barra, one-shot Ben. Those sort of plays can still happen here with this build. The Serqet has not changed. Has Deathbringer, has Serrated, has the Protector of the Jungle. You're fighting him around Fire Giant. It's going to be scary. Unfortunately, Ven has been the target of a lot of the aggression here from the Jade Dragons. This Agni has not been able to free cast, and because of that, lower on the damage numbers for the time being. But still does have that same level of output that Dardes has. I mean, you're missing the Spear of the Magus. You have the Soul Reaver. You got some good damage in tow. So you just got to watch out for how much he's able to do, just like that. And the poke can really start to add up.
Haddox, again, trying to find LASBRA, but unable to take him this time through. It's the Ravens who have pressure in the Fire Giant pit as they're able to get themselves set up and get prepped for fire. The Jade Dragons have not made an aggressive move towards the Fire Giant. This is giving time for the Ravens to set up, get a little bit of extra farm. Haddix has been able to get plenty of waves in mid while keeping eyes on LASBRA. The Ravens start up the Fire Giant. They 50-50 the last time. The Dragons were the ones who came up heads on the coin flip. With the wrap around the back, LASBRA and Nika collapse on a Barracuda. Nowhere for the carry to go as he's been double ulted. The Aegis may have just bought him enough time, but with Vote dashing in, that will be one. But LASBRA falls to the boulder after Hurrywin goes to the ultimate, but he's pulled 3 people immediately to him. Up onto the powwow goes Scream to deal with Dardes, but will not be able to pull the carry. And Haddix has dealt with these backliners no problem. Dardes in the ultimate trying to run as fast as he can. But he and the rest of his team are so low on HP. The Dragons are just trying to get out of this fight.
Haddix is really low too. He's trying to go in for the pull. It's only Ven who has a health bar to try and use. I think the Ravens should be trying to retreat here, and that is the call. Scream went back to base. He's got full HP. Hurrywin is still sieging forward though. This is so dangerous for both of these squads.
Oh, Veneno got clipped though by the damage of Dardes. Scream has found PBM, who will dash back to Nika, but Hurrywin goes back in. It's an aggressive play by both of them. Nika trying to deal with Veneno, but the bombs are too much damage. Veneno finds his second kill of the game. And the Highland Ravens in such a scattered fight. A 2-for-1 to start this out. A push by Haddix. The boulder is back. Not enough damage to get the second tap to Dardes this time through. Haddix full HP on the Hercules. He is zoning the Dragons away from this objective.
Now you got the grouping. Nika's gone for 40. This should be an enhanced Fire Giant call here for the Highland Ravens. How easy can you pull it though? Just Scream and Haddix here for now. Carries are on the way, but Hurrywin is going to be lagging behind a fair bit as the siege starts up. The Fire Giant is going to be the call, but look at Scream. He's hiding. He wants to try and find a pick. Vote doesn't have airstrike available. He could be the target.
PBM and Vote trying to find a way in the pit. Scream vying for a way into this fight. The dash has already been used by Vote. Hurrywin and Highland Ravens get the Fire Giant. Vote nearly taken out of this fight. Mike does end up getting his bubble pop, so he doesn't get pulled back in by the powwow, but the Highland Ravens have taken all 5 to get the Fire Giant this time through.
And finally we get time to analyze that fight because it starts horribly for the Highland Ravens. I mean, Nika and Scream, or Nika and LASBRA in this case, both get to Barra. They pull both relics, but the Aegis was timed so perfectly. He stalled out so much damage that the boulder is actually able to kill LASBRA starting off that siege. Vote dashes in, finally picks off Barra. But because it takes so long, because the fight was so staggered, you get the reset. Scream goes back to base, comes back. Haddix gets the teleport back in. And then, of course, Nika overstays his welcome and falls down. And because of that one-man advantage, the Highland Ravens are able to go for the enhanced Fire Giant. But, J-Mac, that fight starts at 29:50. We're almost it's almost 4 minutes later. You know, it was a long scrap at that point. And because of that long nature of the fight, Barrett's relics are coming off cooldown. His Aegis is up now. I mean, this was a long scrap, and it's already beginning on the left side. Now, this is an enhanced Fire Giant. There are still tier 1s to be played with in the mid tower. I'm thinking the Highland Ravens want to take this one a bit slower, just because their relics are coming back up. You know, wait for Ven's beads at least. That's 12 seconds away. And probably take the tier 1 off the map before you're thinking about going in for the birds.
Turnaround Bastion pop there for Scream. He and Haddix started over towards mid, but now it's a funneling to the left side of the map.
LASBRA's pushing mid.
Dardes is by himself. Hurrywin goes in aggressively. Doesn't get anything away from Dardes this time through. Now a group up of the Dragons and Hurrywin. About a quarter of his HP taken away from soaking up damage from not just Dardes, but the Phoenix too. Highland Ravens, a 5-man stack on the left side. Enhanced Fire means that Barracuda can just bat away at the Phoenix's health little by little. The Highland Ravens taking their time. Keep your eyes on LASBRA, though. He's the one hunting for his opening to get to this back line. Barracuda, Hurrywin hit by the damage of LASBRA. Not enough to scare the Ravens away just yet.
Hurrywin sieging forward, doesn't have too much HP and has to juke out the fear from Dardes. All the while, LASBRA takes some damage and he actually gets blown up. So much CC, this is what I'm talking about. Ares can't be the single frontliner. Haddix got targeted out, and now it's the J Dragons who are able to siege forward. They're not going to chase too far. I'm surprised the Highland Ravens, number 1, forced that left side bird so hard, considering there was still a tier 1, a tier 2, still two twos available over on left and mid. I guess they just really wanted to break the base because your next enhanced Fire Giant becomes so much easier if you get that Phoenix down. But Hurrywin can't be the one to try and tank it up. He actually went for Spear of the Magus in that last slot, I think Hurrywin's single job is to be annoying and tanky, and Spear of the Magus is not going to cut it. He has no CC immunity. I mean, Dardes just fears him back into Phoenix. LASBRA's there as well. Your Ares dies, and that's the issue with this composition. Late game, Ares falls off. He's not going to have that same level of value. Hurrywin's going to have to try and get tankier real quick, or else those seeds aren't going to go the same.
Well, Venenu on the Agni was bullied out pretty hard in the early game. He's had a little bit of a comeback wave, leading damage for his team at the moment. Being a little bit outshined by Dardes on the Morgan Le Fay's damage, at least for now. But now that we are 6th slot for these mages, we see just how much damage Venenu can do. We've seen it multiple times so far over the course of week 1 of the SPL, just what an Agni can do late game if left unchecked. But so far, Charlie, the Dragons have done a great job of keeping Venenu and keeping Barracuda in check during these team fights.
They have. Game of the backline has been the call. LASBRA's always trying to find a wraparound. He's never letting Barra and Ven just free cast the fight away. Haddock said, hey, I'm watching your back, though, bud. Don't worry. I'm going to make sure no Serqets are sneaking around for the time being. Barracuda and Hurrywin both take a good bit of poke there from Dardes. Have to watch out. This Morgan Le Fay is top of the damage charts for a reason. She's got big range and plenty of poke damage if you're stepping up. But we're at another Enhanced Fire Giant dance. Pretty much every relic is available except for Screams, Beads on the left side, and PBM's Bracer, which will be up in about 10 seconds. I don't know who gets the edge in this fight, though. I mean, in the jungle, this is where this pick style of composition the Jade Dragons have really does benefit them. They just have to hit one CC ability, and they can just blow someone up. Pull a Magi's, pull a Beads down, and LASBRA's got 100-0 capabilities. Dardes has been able to stay relatively safe in the backline. It's anyone's game, but you have to watch your positioning so much here. One missed ability, or one hit ability, I guess, in this case, and you could be deleted.
Keeping a lot of eyes on Hurrywin to start this fight out for his team. He'll go in, find a blink chain on Dardes, but now it's LASBRA looping back around to Barracuda once more. Boulder is through. 1-for-1 trade out. Venenu gets one, but crashed in now by PBM to rejoin the front line. Hurrywin has been caught out. No ultimate available. Scream on the Pow Lao. What can he do? Not enough damage to take out Dardes. Instead, it's a turnaround back. Venenu has got to get some backup, and luckily he's got Haddocks to deal with Dardes in the back line. Knock up onto Nika. Push just off the mark. And it's a 1-for-2 trade for the Ravens.
They've got Sustain, though, and Vote is full HP. Where is Scream going to decide to go in? He was hiding in the jungle, didn't step up, and the Jade Dragons are going to be able to grab that Pyromancer. Once again, Barracuda is the target. He dishes out so much damage and didn't even get to use Aegis. If he did, I think the Highland Ravens win that fight handedly. They still make out better, 4-3 kills-wise, but they weren't able to grab the Pyromancer. Vote stays relatively untouched at full HP, and now they're able to sit around this Enhanced Fire Giant for a little bit longer. It's going to take a while for LASBRA to join the fight, though. He's still 10 seconds out, but he's got so much mobility. I don't think the Highland Ravens are even going to feel confident enough to pull the Enhanced Fire Giant with this lead they have.
Highland Ravens. We approach the 38-minute mark. One team fight that goes astray could very well end this game. Venenu wants to start things out with a little bit of poke. Does manage to find at least the stun and the follow-up bomb on the PBM. PBM, though, on the horse with a very low cooldown on that heal will be able to keep himself topped up. Fire Giant started by the Highland Ravens. Hurrywin with a couple of chains to the back line. Fire Giant under half HP. Barracuda still critting around. And the Jade Dragons,
Once
they can
again,
take the fire
they
back
pick it
through.
up.
It's going to be a fight for the fire. The Ravens do get it. Boulder hits through. LASBRA losing the 1v1 against Scream. The Pow Lau's damage is not enough, but Scream can still continue to chase in. Meanwhile, into the back line, Nika and Hurrywin both low. Dardes throws out the ultimate to try and go through. Scream cannot find the kill up against LASBRA. Haddocks dashes in, just misses Dardes with the bubble. But now it's Scream to the back line. A blink through 3. The fire is doing so much damage. It's 1-for-1 through. And Vote used the ultimate to get out. But Mike and Nika, they're both low. And Haddocks just wants one knockup if he can find it, but he just can't close the gap.
LASBRA's here, though, full HP. Scream could have made a massive rotation in, but that fire blink unfortunately cost him too much damage. Left side tier 2 goes down, and LASBRA has the gank opportunity. Who's he going to try and delete? It looks like he's going for Barra.
Does blink right through, though, and the fire trail is doing a lot to Hurrywin, who goes down. Fire now from Veneno as he dashes out. But the Dragons will not continue their chase into the jungle. PBM still holding on, but Vote not going to stick with him. He'll head back to base. The Ravens, they lose 2 on the push.
They lose 2. Nika has to teleport in, and Mike has ultimate. He's channeling who's coming. It looks like Vote. He's trying to bring him towards Barracuda. Someone's got to help this ADC get out, put the blink in. Barra's got to try and fight.
Oh, but Venenu's going to go down in trade of this one. Barracuda's lifesteal keeps him alive just a while longer. Nika can't find the kill, but Venenu caught out. That's 65 seconds. Without the mid laner, 30 seconds. Without Hurry win, it's going to be a 4 versus 3 if the Dragons decide to push in, but it'll just be the tier 2 tower plus Venenu for the fight. The Jade Dragons still able to punch back against the Ravens.
They still have EFG on 2 for another minute 20, but Primal Fury will go down here for the Jade Dragons. There's just no appeal, and this is the other issue with Ares compositions. Barracuda has been taking so much flack in the backline. It's just been LASBRA beelining for this Cernanos. I think with the damage Bear is doing and how well he's been playing, he should be able to carry this game, but he can't because there's no peel. I mean, Haddix is going in, trying to set up for the team, trying to initiate, but it's just not really what Ares is for. He's going to provide chains, he's going to provide damage, hopefully CC, but he's not going to stop you from diving as Cernos. That just doesn't happen. Scream had a great fight there, but unfortunately spent so much time chasing down LASBRA when he could have been helping out the team. That could have been GG if played differently. But it seems like we're setting up for another enhanced Fire Giant, J-Mac. It's close. The gold lead is essentially non-existent. Everyone's upgraded relics. Everyone's full build. 3K pots in tow for Vote. This Jing Wei is going to be absolutely swinging, pretty much critting every single auto attack. And the mages, at the top of the damage chart so far, Dardes and Ven have just been providing that poke for their team and trying to stay alive. It's just, can LASBRA successfully 100-0 Barra? He hasn't been able to do it the past 2 fights, but he's been getting close. We'll see what happens in this fight. I mean, it's just the same fight over and over again.
We return to the tango around the fire. At least maybe in about 45 seconds whenever it crashes back down. For now, it's ward establishment for the Highland Ravens. And I think you maybe put it there perfect, Charlie, where because of the nature of Hurrywind's pick, this Ares wants to get to the back line of the enemy team. Barracuda and Venenu, honestly, both of them have really been an easy target for LASBRA and Nika to just dive onto. The double death ball of that squad has really made it difficult for the Highland Ravens to find success in the team fighting stage. Fire up in 11 seconds. Pyromancer for the Highland Ravens. But it's all going to come down to the fight around that objective.
Scream has that spectral armor. He's trying to get to Vote. He's 5-0. This Jing Wei has not died yet this game. Someone's going to have to deal with Vote. Unfortunately, Scream doesn't want to take that title. He's like, I'd rather kill the guys that I can. LASBRA's hiding as per usual over on the left side of the map, trying to find a wraparound. He wants to go the whole way around as he has been doing, trying to get to Barracuda. An enhanced Fire Giant is here. It's all going to be CC, as we said. I think PBM without Blink can't set up too much. He wants to sit and see who steps up. Haddix has been popping that regrowth, trying to see who he can knock up towards him. And that's been the play more often than not. That's been what's starting these sieges. A blink in from Hurrywin, hit some chains, and just sort of siege forward. But you'll see, once Hurry goes in, just watch Nika and LASBRA. They almost pass each other on the way in. It's just, oh, you're going in, we're going in too. We'll see you at Barra. You have fun in the back line. All the while, Haddix is on LASBRA duty. This Hercules has not been looking for pulls. He's been watching his backline. Someone has to save Barra, and it looks like it's Haddix.
Mike pulled back by Haddix. Hurrywin pulls an ultimate and a set of beads away as well. Now with those gone away from Vote, it's the call for Scream, but he's going to get the airstrike out of Vote this time. A pull back onto Nika, who will barely make it back through. Mike able to heal him through. And Haddix all the while fighting Dardes and LASBRA. Taunted back in by Laz. A quick beats to get him away and a bubble pop in return. The Highland Ravens, they've only lost out on 2 of their relics. Meanwhile, they've taken some crucial ones from the Jade Dragons. The Fire Giant is low. Another 50-50 attempt around the objective. Venenu finds a kill. The Dragons get the Fire Giant away. But can the Dragons get out of the fight? Haddix wants that one pickup. Who will he find it on? No one. Mike goes back in to bail him out, and Haddix is forced out of the fight.
And that's going to be it. Jade Dragons, they're able to steal. They lose LASBRA in the process, but Are they going to chase? The Jade Dragons are looking towards it. Scream is in the back line, and they've sought this out. How much chase down potential do they have? None. They're not going to go for it. I really thought Scream might have been caught out there. EFG on 4. The Highland Ravens, if I'm the Highland Ravens, I'm setting up an ambush somewhere. It's a 5v4. You are in a terrible spot if LASBRA joins back in and they're able to push. I'm heading right for that Fury, and that seems to be the call. Haddix is leading the charge. You have your opportunity. PBM, by the way, plays that perfectly. The second he realizes EFG goes down, he's to the skies. He says, get on. We are leaving. We are not looking to fight. I am getting you as far out as possible. It's 45 minutes into this game. The smallest misplay can lose us. We are making sure we get out with this enhanced fire giant. But it looks like the Highland Ravens are not going to fight. They're going to let LASBRA spawn in. They're going to let the Jade Dragon siege forward with this enhanced fire giant, and now they're going to try their hand at a defense. I think they're still feeling their odds because it's been difficult for the carries to die. But the Jade Dragons could say the same thing. I mean, 5-0 for vote. It was, oh, beads down. Okay, next ult. Okay, airstrike down. No one else has gotten to him since. They just have to use so much of their initiation just to pull relics off a vote that once they actually get that airstrike down, there's nothing left. You can't close gap anymore. You don't play a 46-minute game as an ADC and go 5-0 without phenomenal support from your team, but also just good positioning. I think PBM has been on point with his peel this game.
Charlie?
Yeah.
I think we're going to another enhanced fire giant, man.
Oh, for sure.
Because Jade Dragons is the furthest up on the map they've gone, that halfway line.
Yeah.
This Pyromancer's about to respawn, so no further siege. Maybe criminal that there's still 2 towers standing on the map for how long and for how back and forth this game has been. But the Dragons, content with their fire giant steal, only losing LASBRA for it. They'll move over and maybe remove one of those last standing structures. They're not going to have long after if they want to push in.
Mike could ult.
To the Phoenix. There's a hefty minion wave there.
There it is.
Mike's going to channel the ultimate. Can he get a minion there in time? Yes, he will. Where will the crash down be? Will it be in mid? Will it be in left? It will be in mid, but only Mike went there. It was a fake out. And instead now it's Hurrywin finding the ult on to 3. Nika pushed in, but the Phoenix is gone.
Oh, it's gone!
Gets a shutdown on the vote, and that's a big start. But the Highland Ravens can't go much further. Nika does go down. He gets caught out by the Palau, pulled back in. Charlie, it's 70 seconds till they're back up. The Ravens have got to pull something from this.
Haddix is making sure LASBRA doesn't split push, and they're going to run it down mid. This is the perfect call. As you said, so much time on these respawns, and they have plenty of time. They've got minions. As long as Haddix makes sure LASBRA is not going for that left side bird, he can teleport in. Does anyone have a ward? They do. It looks like they've got the teleport possibilities. LASBRA was not stopped, so Haddix is going to have to join in the old-fashioned way, but they've got plenty of siege potential. They could just walk in. I'm thinking they're going to go for the end here.
Tier 2 tower gone. Phoenix getting a little bit of extra attack speed there with Mike. Has that Emperor's armor. Dardas from the side trying to bring damage, but Haddix will zone him away. LASBRA cannot get through. The Phoenix is down. It is 20 seconds until Vote is back. 25 until Nika returns. The Highland Ravens, do they do it twice in one set? Venenu shut down.
Dead.
Hurrywin shut down. Dardas used the agent and he pushes Scream against the wall. Dardas defends the base. The Jade Dragons in a 3v5 have held them back. Dardas will not get the triple kill this time through, but he has done more than enough work for LASBRA to walk back in with Mike, and they'll take down Haddix. It'll take him a while to do so, but the Dragons defend their base.
That is insane. LASBRA's ultimate does so much damage there, and Hurrywin is too squishy. I don't know why he's got Spear of Magus. He barely did more damage than Mike. I don't understand the build. I'm maybe harping on it a little bit too much, but that front line was not enough. It just seemed like there wasn't enough peel. Nika's able to teleport in, and that is a miracle base save by the Jade Dragons. Insane play from LASBRA. And the fact that Dardas lives is also nuts. When I saw Vote get shut down, I thought this game was over.
Had me thinking it might have been too. But the Jade Dragons base defense, the Morgan Le Fay, LASBRA on the Serqet, and this Horus is just enough for the Jade Dragons to defend against the full force of 5 from the Highland Ravens. The undefeated streak